Hello and welcome to Hearth and Hammer. We are a family-friendly D&D show, and we are super excited today because it is a momentous occasion. We are starting a new campaign, and today is session 0, and I have a plethora of new players and characters to introduce you today, but we're going to go around and we're going to say hello to all the fine people. So let's start with Dave.
Hey everybody, so my name's Dave Miller and I'm playing the character Vigo Grigorovich. So Seth, you wanted me to talk about the character?
We'll do the character full description here in a minute. But go ahead.
This
Yeah.
is me.
This
All right,
is
so
you. Yes.
everybody, it's great to meet you. My name's Dave.
Awesome.
Hi,
and
Dave. Hi, Dave.
Michael or Reward, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Michael.
Don't pick me to go first.
Also known as RebornCrusader. You guys know me from the last campaign. I'm sticking around for the second one, so hi.
All right. And next in rotation is myself. I am Seth, also known as White Fox SG, and I will be the DM. Once again, I am super excited because I have a completely homebrew campaign for the players this time, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But let's go back down to the bottom row. Solus.
Hey, friends. I'm Solus, and me and Seth go way back as content creators, so I am lucky enough to be the first-time player character under the DM Seth. I've only ever DM'd, so this is going to be an interesting dynamic. Let's go.
It's going to be awesome. All right, and let's see. We also have Next Gen.
Yep, Next Gen. My name's CJ, and excited to be joining in today. Real excited. We have a good time.
Fantastic. And then hiding behind the Hearth and Hammer logo because he doesn't have a camera is Bort or Kyle.
Yep. Yeah, my name is Kyle. I am excited to play here. This will be one of the larger parties I've played with, I think. So be interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. And I need to take you up on that webcam you offered me last time. Thanks.
Absolutely, yes. I will get it to you before the first session. So, so, like I said, we are here. We are actually, this is our session 0. So it's going to be a bit of logistics. It's going to be a bit of introduction to the world, to the history, to the nations and the peoples, as well as we're going to finish the character creation for each of our players, and we're going to roll stats for them because that's exciting. Why would we not have some stats rolled? Because then we can get to see Reborn roll 3 ones on.
Just don't tell me a disadvantage.
On one of his stats.
You know what's happening.
No, it's gonna be exciting. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start because the players have been really excited about rolling for their stats. We're gonna have them roll stats first. So we're gonna dive right into it, and it's gonna be good. Let me change up the music here, though.
Why am I nervous?
Why are you nervous? There's nothing to be nervous
anxiety.
about.
I will warn you guys, if Seth ever tells me to roll with disadvantage, we just need to go ahead and figure out what we're doing after my nat 1. Okay? Because it is 100% success rate that all he has to do is say, roll that with disadvantage. And I'm rolling a nat 20, and I'm rolling a nat 1.
I don't know how, but he
is the worst. No, I am not the one doing it. I can roll just fine until you say those words.
Well, it's a new character, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
No, same dice.
Well, maybe we'll.
Maybe I should go steal some dice from my daughter and roll some new dice.
There you go.
You got 2 in Monopoly. Go grab 1 out of the
yeah, exactly.
I have enough dice that I think my wife will get mad if I go take more to roll.
He's got.
I think I have a pound of dice somewhere around here too that I bought, so everybody at the table could have some. I'm excited. I'm excited
Okay,
to see
I'm
how this
gonna
character
start a
turns out.
little music here in the background.
Little music. Should be like ominous music, like we're like, about to face a dragon or something.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. This is relaxing music.
I think he's lying to us, guys.
For the last time in the
not-
entire
not
campaign.
He's leading us off to slaughter. He's like, now I want everyone to subtract 8 from whatever they rolled on every roll. And you're welcome.
And you're welcome. All right. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but Reborn, tell me if you hear it on the stream.
I do, and it is very relaxing.
See, I told you.
It's almost like the kind that would be playing in a crypt where you would go to die.
No. It's more. It's not.
No, it's not
Yeah,
like
it's
it's like on like a
positive
forest
note.
stream or something. Yeah, it's like
I do
something
not hear it.
you meditating
Okay.
or something.
It may not be. It's probably not coming through for you guys. So.
Okay.
It's not coming. It's not coming through in here. It's on the
I
stream.
thought maybe I was already dead.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Look, actually,
all of
here,
you
you know
roll
what?
death saving
I know
throws.
exactly what I can do. I think I can do that, and I think you guys will be able to hear it.
Yeah,
Can you hear it? Nice.
I did. I don't now.
I heard something.
Oh, it's a
I
little
heard it
low.
for a second. Oh, okay. Yeah, don't bring it up too loud because then it gets like super loud.
Yeah.
Then it gets like crazy.
You
loud
might.
on the
I'm
stream.
wondering if it's clipping it, except when I talk.
It might from the sound guard.
It should. Well, no, I don't have sound guard on.
Oh,
I don't know.
either way,
Okay. Either way,
we'll die.
It is a session 0.
it is a session 0. That's right.
Where's my audio?
Also, we don't
Over here.
have. I will have some new overlays for this campaign. We're gonna try to figure out some new graphics. We actually have a new logo in the works.
Ooh.
It's just a time for new things, so we're excited. But yes, let's go through our character creation. Okay, so let's start on the opposite end. Kyle,
Yes,
are you ready to roll?
I am here.
I hear them. I hear the dice. Let's
Those
see.
sound like weighted dice to me.
Good
job.
I am
Good
a
job.
charlatan, but I'm not really. All right.
Okay, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna roll 4d6.
Yep.
And take the lowest number and get rid of it, and then add up the other 3, and that'll be one of your stat numbers. So
Okay.
go ahead and read it off as you do it. I'm gonna record.
I'm just going to open up Excel now and get ready for this.
Did you
Yeah,
say
go ahead.
add? I didn't bring a calculator, man. Come on.
All right.
I've got mine open on the
They're
screen.
all 6.
So not the 1. And then we got 2, 5, and 9. Well, not great.
Okay, that's okay.
I got a 9.
That's probably not your main stat.
Probably not my good one. Ooh.
Sounds
I
good.
got. So we'll toss out the 1, and then we'll keep the other 2 1s, and then we'll also keep the 2. So I have a 4.
Ooh. Constitution.
Intelligence.
I may give you 1 extra roll.
That character,
Pretty bad.
the character feels very sweaty already.
It's okay. It's okay. Hey, he's getting his bad rolls out so that he rolls 3 6s for his for wisdom.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's good.
Okay. So, we'll throw out the 2. We'll keep a 4, a 5, and a 3. That's a 12. Oh, I need to write this down. We got a 4.
He's like, I opened Excel. Yeah, it's fine.
Nah.
Which
When I
roll?
said Excel, I meant Notepad on my phone. And I'm just tacking random numbers on the end of a note that I started at work today. So, all right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here we go. So, throw out the 1. I'm really good at rolling ones. Keep a 4, a 4, and a 6. So, I got a 14.
No kidding. Nice.
Whatever dice keeps rolling that 1, throw it out.
Yeah, it's done.
They're all rolled 1s. So,
Oh no.
I just need the new D6s. Oh, mercy. Okay. So, toss out a 1. We got a 1, a 4, and a 6. So, that's an 11. So, that's not too bad.
Decent rolls.
Okay, this is my last one, so I need this to be good.
You got it, man. Full faith.
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so we're keeping a 2, a 5, and a 6. That's a 13. Okay, so
It's not bad.
Nice.
I have a 9, 4, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Okay.
Okay, that didn't end up as bad as
It did end up as
Starting
bad.
off with the 9 and 4 was
Now,
That was
dicey.
okay.
I was trying not to say dicey, but that's what it was. So.
Nice.
Okay, so here's my proposal,
Reroll the 4.
because I'm a generous DM.
He is too generous. He's too generous.
To add 12 to any stat I want.
I'll let you guys choose between one of these two options. As if you
Both.
have more than one, okay, so this is setting the precedence. Okay, so if you have a roll and you get 2 1s in your roll, then I will let you re-roll
The whole roll.
the whole roll. If you don't have to do that, I will let you take a D4 and add it to any of your other options.
What if I want to play like
the other
Yahtzee
stats.
and just keep the
Okay.
6s and re-roll the other dice?
So Kyle,
Now,
if you would like
said
to
2
re-roll,
1s. Is that the throwaway and another 1, or you've got your throwaway and you still have 2 1s left over?
I would say
So you would have
throwaway.
to
You
roll
still have
3
2. Yeah,
dice
so
that are
3 of the 4. If you have 2 1s, so rather than get you to, like I said, at max, like that would still get you. Like if you had a 6 and 2 1s, it would still get you at an 8. I will still let you re-roll that one.
Okay.
What if I roll all 4 1s? Do I just get a 20 in that stat?
That's what I'm talking about.
I think you're done for the campaign.
I think character died.
I'm down to re-roll.
4 nat 1s and 1 roll.
Could happen.
Okay, Kyle,
So,
give us one more
so
roll of
what are
4.
my options other than
Re-roll the 4 is the option. Re-roll the 4.
Yeah.
dying to a
Yes.
stiff breeze?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're gonna re-roll this 4. Oh yes, I got a 6s and a 4. That's what I'm keeping.
He's
So
like
that
18.
is
No.
16.
16.
Nice.
Okay.
There's a new charisma modifier.
Nice.
There we go. Thank you, Seth.
There you
Such
go.
a generous
There you go.
DM.
So we will not
I-
take
I-
the 4.
I said add 12 to any stat I want. It's a
you,
joke.
you
got it.
basically almost
That's
did.
exactly what has happened.
I was gonna say what he gave me exactly what you ended up with.
Okay, so I have
Rewind
for
it.
you. I have 9, 12, 14, 11, 13, and 16 for you, sir.
You said 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. That's what I got.
Yeah, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. I just
I'm
said them
gonna
in a different
go-
order.
I'm going to go assign those.
Yes, and make sure you
To the
know, since you're being a sorcerer, what you want your primary stat to be the 16. You
Well,
are
yes.
also going to get, don't forget, you'll get bonuses for your race. You'll get bonuses for, potentially other things as well. So
Yeah,
keep that
I have
in
a race
mind when
bonus,
we're
so I could
playing
do
it, so.
+2, +1, or +1 to 3 of them, is what,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, CJ, it's your turn.
All right.
Let's go.
All 6s, CJ. All 6s.
All right. So the first one's a 10, 2, and 2 4s. Do you want me to give you all the numbers or just the stat?
Just give me the stat.
All right.
So
Let
what
me
is
keep
that?
track of this as well. 10. That was the first one, 10.
10? Okay.
And then that's an 11. Math's
All right.
hard. 11.
It's tough.
That's another 11. It's another 11.
Oh, jeez. Snake eyes.
It's
Like I
a very
said-
unassuming, but not.
Like I said, the other bonus I'm going to gift you is that you can add a D4 at the end. If you have
Add a
all
D4.
11s, you'll be able to add a D4 to one of those stats.
So that is a 14.
Nice.
Yeah.
One more big one. One more big one.
And this is the last one. And this is a 16.
Oh,
Hey.
yes.
Well,
Very nice.
like I said, you still get to add a d4. So roll a d4.
Yep, I get to
Add
add a
it to one of
D4.
those.
All right, so
Oh, so if you don't
Let's
have
see
to
what it is
re-roll,
first.
we get to roll a d4?
Yes.
it's a 3.
Yes.
So I'm gonna
Added to
leave.
16.
Do it.
I
I'm
mean, you
gonna
can't-
I'm gonna adjust one of my 11s to a 14.
Okay, there you go.
Does that make sense? So I got a
Yep.
10, 2 11s, 14, 14, 16.
Perfect. I mean, I
Nice.
would not stop you from making it a 19 if you wanted. But I'm just saying, like, you probably also
I
want the
think
two
I-
14s. So
I need a little bit more of a rounded character than what I've got going here. So I'll do that. So okay.
Okay.
I'll
and
start
also
filling in on the-
remind us of your character name and what class it is.
Yeah, so Tikatik is her name, and she is a halfling ranger, beastmaster. So
Nice.
that's the character.
I don't think I said what mine is.
Go ahead and say yours too.
So I am Loris Longswall, and he is a Air Genasi sorcerer.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
is.
Solus. It's your
Oh,
turn.
boy. First time rolling as a character. Let's go.
Yeah.
He would like
it's
to
excited.
take a -6 on everything.
All right, here we go. Ooh, 3 2s and a 3. So 3. So
Starting off
7.
strong.
Yeah, a 7. That's exciting.
There's your dump stat.
Yep. All right, here we go again. Dropping the 2 and 3 5s. Okay, 15.
Ooh, nice.
Yep, here we go.
I'll take that. Okay, 3 4s and a 5. It's looking good. So that's 14. Nope. 13.
Nope.
13. I went to Texas A&M. Give me some break.
Hey, I just wrote it down. I didn't do the math.
All right, dropping a 3 and keeping a 13. All right, 2 more rolls. 3 6s and a 2. I shit you not. 3 6s and a 2. That's an 18.
Yes.
That's-
Yes.
There's my dex.
Nice. There's your, as I said, there's your dex.
There's my
awesome.
dex.
I mean,
One,
let's be
two.
honest. Your character needs that.
Yeah, absolutely. And 5 3 1. Drop the 1. 14.
All right.
Okay, so
And
I'm
then your
tracking.
D4.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess so. I'll add it to that 7.
Added to the 7.
Exactly. See?
Yeah,
I knew
there
this
we-
was going to come in handy.
Lord knows I need it. Like, here we go.
Oh man,
2.
I don't know
Alright,
why
so
I'm
you guys
digging
play
out
a 9.
D4s.
All right, so here's what I'm tracking. I'm tracking a 9, a 15, a 13, 13, 18, 14.
Fantastic. And remind us of your character name and class.
Yeah.
And
So I am.
race.
Go ahead. Yep. So I'm Erebus, and I am a wolf, wood elf. Good lord, wood elf. I am Valen. So I have lost my homeland, and I am out being a scout, wandering the forest, trying to find a home.
Absolutely. Rogue Scout. Right.
Yes, rogue scout.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Dave, it's your turn.
Hey. So we're rolling 4d6s, yeah?
46. And then drop the lowest.
Or 5.
Here, or 5, yeah. All right, here we go. I'm rolling in D&D Beyond. So I got 1, 5, 6, 3. So 5, 6, 3 is 11, 3, 14.
Nice.
Nice.
Next one is 2, 3, 4. 5, 3, 6, 4. If I drop the 3, it's 15.
Oh, very good.
2, 4, 5, which is an 11. The other one was a 2. And 3 6s and a 4.
Oh, there's your
I'm
18.
re-rolling with D&D Beyond, so let me go back
Nice.
and do that.
Classic.
Total. So there's 4 of them.
D&D Beyond's worse than my dice.
Never trust computers.
I did hear they did show all of their data and how they do their rolls, and they actually use a physics engine to
Oh, nice.
do the rolls, and they showed the consistency
That's
across like hundreds of rolls the other day. It was pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
did you see all those nat ones? That was me.
Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
All right, so the next one. Sorry. Ah, jeez. Next one is a 1, 6, and 2 4s. So that is 14.
14.
And then I think you got one more. 1, 2, 3.
Guys, let's be honest. This is your healer. You want him to be OP.
Yeah. Yeah, can I give him some of mine?
These are
That's
pretty
right.
darn good.
Can I just give him like a couple D6 for my roll and I'll roll 2?
Yeah, I
Not
called D&D
popular?
Beyond before this and told him.
Told him. I need some
just
good
told him
rolls.
what numbers you need.
Yeah, this time of night, this user, I need luck. All right, here's the last one. That one's low. So I got 2 1s, a 3, and a 6. Is that a re-roll, Seth? Or does it matter with all my other good rolls?
What was it? 2 1s, a 3,
2
and a
1s,
6?
a 3, and a 6. So it'd be.
So that would be
7, 8, 9,
10.
10. Yeah.
No, but you get a D4.
So you just
I
had
get a
roll
D4. So I
and
can.
that's it.
Yeah.
So this one would be a 14, or can I put the 4? Sorry,
You
I
roll
rolled
the
4.
D4.
But I can put it wherever I want, or I put it on this one.
You can put it wherever you want.
Okay, so I'm gonna write this one down as a 10. I'm gonna roll 1d4.
So what you do is when you roll a 2, you add it to that 18, and then you just put your stats elsewhere.
There you go. It's a 1.
Okay.
So I'll.
That's helpful.
I mean, you got an 11 and a 15 that would both benefit from a point.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna put it on 11, and so I'll take a 12 for that one.
Okay. Very nice.
So I got 18, 15, 2 14s, a 12, and a 10.
Awesome. Love it.
I'm gonna mute and cough a lot. Sorry.
Okay, go for it. I've been doing it already, so. Michael, last but not least, sir.
Are you gonna let him tell his character?
Oh, yeah. So tell us your character once you're finished coughing. Michael, I want you to roll with advantage.
Don't say
Okay,
things
yeah,
like
so-
that. Don't say that. That's gonna be the worst part now. I'm gonna get 2 1s.
I am playing Vigo Grigorovich. He's a human male. What is he? A grave discipline cleric.
Yeah.
So
He's
cleric,
awesome.
grave discipline, human male.
Nice.
Fantastic.
All right, Jesus, I need you. No thirding. No thirding. I'll take that. 2 6s and a 4. That is
16.
16 off the bat. That's probably the only good stat I'll have, guys. 6, 3, 4 is what? That's
13.
13?
You really think G's gonna let you roll 3 6s? Come on, man.
It's true.
That we're gonna get rid of that 1. We're never gonna see that again. We're not even gonna roll that dice. That's 6, 4, 4. That's 14? 14?
All day long.
Oh, I actually have to roll that 3 dice. Okay, we get rid of the 3, 5, 4, 4 is 13. Okay, it's not bad. Not bad. We're looking good. Oh, I actually have to roll a 4 dice. And that was a 1, so we're going to get rid of that. Okay, that's the bad one. That's a 9. That'd be a 9. I can do that simple math.
It's okay. It's okay.
How many more I got? One more, right?
One more.
One more?
One more.
Come on, 6s. You're in there somewhere. You're not in there. Holy. Oh, my. Okay. All right. Yeah, I wish I could show you this, but it is 3 1s and a 3.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's good.
All right, you get a reroll.
I don't know why I pulled this D4 out. Like I was going to use that because we knew the 3 ones were coming. Okay, that's a lot better. That is a 6, a 4, and a 3. So that is a 13.
Nice.
So I'm taking this 9 apparently.
Yeah, you are.
I know a gun. All right, that's not bad.
Hey,
I'll take
hey, that was great. That was a great roll.
everything else is good. Everything else is good. Yeah. We have to be kind of well-rounded.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you got a -1 on something. Big deal.
No. I have racial bonuses. That will be a 10.
That's true. You could use that for something else. Okay. And introduce your character, sir, and then we'll get into introduction.
I
Of
won't
the
tell you
world.
the race. Yeah. You want me to tell the
say,
race?
You could say it, but no one's going to know it until we go into it. So.
Okay. How exactly do you pronounce it, Seth? How are you pronouncing it?
Zitali.
Zitali. Okay. I am a Zitali artificer. My name is Beluga
That's awesome.
Pappy Whitlock.
It's
That
fantastic.
is my name. And I'm a small little blue and gray guy.
I love it. I
That'd
really
be
do.
fun. When I say small, I mean small.
Yeah. And we'll get to a description of the Zitali, which are a homebrew race, here in just a minute. But first, we are going to have a little introduction to the world. This is for both the viewers and the players. And this is in their introduction, or this is in their player guide that I gave them, but I'm going to go ahead and read over it, and then we can talk about it a little bit too, so that you guys know what's going on in the world. So, welcome to the world of Xennelia, a land of many nations splintered from a once great civilization known as the Sulphurian Empire, overthrown at the end of the last age. These nations live in a state of relative peace with each other, though some border disputes do arise from time to time. Most people have no issue traveling throughout the land. The main danger lies to the west, across the Iron Sea beyond the Shale Spike Mountains. 100+ years ago, the Shade, dark and terrible creatures, invaded the westernmost nations, occupying the elven homeland of Valenex, but were pushed back in Elthuvian, Nevsoro in the north, and Solteroct in the south. And I'll have a map later to show as well for that. The players have the map as well. Though repulsed, raiding parties, warbands, and unknown creatures have still made their way through the wildlands and forests and mountains, and have crossed into Xennelia over the last 100+ years, making the world much more dangerous to travel off the road and highways. No one exactly knows why these creatures attacked. This is the world in which you, the players, your characters will now live, and where you strive to make a difference. As a bit of logistics, and for everyone's knowledge, common races that are found in most cities are human, dwarf, gnome, halfling, Zitali, and half-elf. For those at home, Zitali is the homebrew race, and it is a short race like gnomes or halflings. Though they appear more like a halfling in their appearance, their skin color is the color of stone, whether it's like red, like sandstone, or blue. Now I've lost my description. Blue, like lapis, or like gray of shale. But it is that color. They are somewhat they're quasi shifters, so they can transform their hands and legs into tools or weapons. They can also shift their bodies to have kind of bony armor plates and gain a bit of protection that way. They can, with this shifting, also increase their size to medium and be as tall as a human. They can stretch out their arms up to 10 feet and reach things up high. They are limited in how often they can do this. It does require great energy, and they do have to rest after doing it so many times. But on top of that, the Xennelia are natural miners and tinkerers, and while they don't often use tools or weapons themselves, they are rather good at crafting them. They have several cities, kind of city nations within the country of Xennelia, and those will come into play throughout the game. But Reborn, your character is from which city?
Oh, you want me to say that crazy name?
I can say it if you want.
Yeah, I don't know how to say Zero Matal.
Zeromatal.
There you go.
So, and you are from the southernmost country.
I'm a deep south boy.
That's right, Sol Taract, which is also home to a large dwarven population. So
Back to my roots.
you're in good company. Dwarves and gnomes are the primary residents of the capital city in Sol Taract. Though there are, like I said, in all the common cities, all the capital cities, there are most of the common races can be found, and even a lot of the uncommon. Other uncommon races that can be found within the world are Dragonborn, Kobold, Genasi, Asimar, Aarakocra, Alkin, Tiefling, Tabaxi, Warforged, Orc, Half-Orc, Lizard Folk, Tortle, Harengon, and Furbolg. They are uncommon, though they are, they do have pockets of population throughout the world. Like I said, specifically Sol Taract and Dralik Dune are primarily dwarf and gnomish cities. Fallraven, as a nation, is primarily halflings, and it is the home of our CJ's character. Remind us of your character's name again, CJ.
Her name is Tika Teek.
Tika Teek, love it. And then Villafandria is actually home to the largest settlement of Orc, Half-Orc, and Lizard Folk. They're up on the plateau off the coast. There are a couple of Dragonborn cities on islands in the map there. And kind of an interesting fact, Xennelia and Dragonborn have a natural distrust of each other. They're not necessarily enemies, but they tend to fight first and talk later.
I don't like how big they are.
So we will explore that throughout the campaign as well. As far also, there is a large population of Furbolg, Tabaxi, and Harengon, which are the rabbit people, in the north in Woodward. And then there's a few cities known as Planori cities, which are home to the kind of uncommon races that have extraplanar ancestry. So the Genasi, the Aarakocra, the Tiefling, even the Warforged tend to congregate in those cities and live and move forth from there. So that is an explanation, kind of where they all, they can all be found. Like I said, they are still found throughout the world, all races and peoples, and so yeah, you never know what you might find. One of the things we have in Xennelia is we have something called masked nations. And going back to the history of Xennelia, when it was the Silphorian Empire, part of the reason it collapsed was that the final ruler was a tyrant. It was a tyrant empress known as Avriel, and she was so bad that these 5 nations, Theorandia, Savandia, Barovina, Villafandria, and Alarandia, led an uprising and overthrew the Silphor family's seat of power. Since then, the nations fractured. But those nations, when they rebelled, wore masks. They wore them to hide their identities as they conspired and led rebellious activities. And after that, the tradition remained. They will continue to wear masks, marking them for their family and their nation and special achievements that they accomplished throughout their life. This is how they knew each other. This is the face that they recognize. And they only show the face underneath to family and close friends. Also, in Xennelia, there are 2 schools of magic. There is the Tetralith Academy. Thank you, CJ. And the Magaric Arcanum. The Tetralith Academy is a school built upon the ruins of the once mighty Silphorian capital. The tower of the former capital of the Silphorian Empire, the tower has crumbled, but hovering above it, magically in the air, is the Tetralith Academy. It is right in the middle of the crossroads of 4 of the central nations, Theorandia, Savandia, Selisgoth, and Fieldheim. And once a year, at harvest, they host a great harvest festival and hold the Tetralith Harvest Trials. Besides teaching magic, they also train in conventional martial skills and select a few people during these trials, and then send them back out into the world to put many of the nations on equal footing, basically. The Magaric Arcanum is an isolated school on the island in the middle of the Iron Sea. They are magic practitioners and scholars living there, and they often seek out knowledge throughout Xennelia and are often the caretakers of history. There are fortresses on the map as well, and they were created after the invasion of the Shade. They were created and garrisoned to defend against further incursion. Though that hasn't happened, they are garrisoned by multinational groups, and so defend all of Xennelia. Once again, harvest time is a very important time in Xennelia, and there's much celebration for family and festivals and competitions and ceremonies that are traditionally performed during these celebrations. Adolescents become adults. Many guilds and tradecraft, armies, schools, and societies, both public and secret, choose and accept new members during these events as well. It is actually at the Tetralith Harvest Trials where we focus on our adventure. You, the players, have traveled from your respective nations as part of the representation for your nation, which are drawn by lot. and you are there. Whether to participate or whether to negotiate trade or whether just to experience the incredible celebration that is the Tetralith Harvest Festival and Trials. You see, as you travel there, you all know that this is centrally located, that it's the around the ruins, but what you don't know is that as you arrive, the city of tents and semi-permanent structures that has been constructed. There's a small township that's always there, but the tents and pavilions and everything else for each nation with each flag and everything is just surrounding this ruined tower for several miles. And that is where you find yourself. I'm going to go around, and I'm going to have each of you introduce your character. I'd love for you to give, your name, your race, your class once again, and then also give us a little bit of background, the public background. If you have anything you don't want to share, don't share. But yeah, I want to would like you to introduce your character to the other players and to the stream. Michael,
You would like me to go first?
how about you go
I was
first?
I was waiting for
I
you to
didn't say
tell
it. I
somebody
didn't say
to go
anything.
first. Okay.
As
So
the resident veteron of Hearth and
I was
Hammer.
like, I should
I
probably
know.
just start talking,
like,
but I don't know if
I didn't
I'm
say
going to start
anything.
talking somebody. Yeah. Okay. You just want me
Guys,
to kind of
it's-
introduce
yes.
Pappy?
Yes.
Okay.
It's session 0,
Um,
guys. Okay, we're still working it.
We'll iron the bugs out. My character is a little on the older side compared to probably most of the races. As my race lives to be 250 to 300 years old. Pappy is 97. He is old for most standards, but young in the ways of the Zitali. And he's mostly gray, but he has streaks of blue lapis through his skin, or lapis color. His hair is completely gray with one blue streak. He usually you won't see any weapons or anything on him. He usually is carrying some kind of small pouches and packs of different things, as he loves to tinker. He's engaging in tinkering with metals and stone and magic, and is really enjoying just kind of understanding the different concepts of putting all those things together and seeing just where his skills can take him. He's obviously a taught craftsman. His heritage is, if I'm understanding this correctly, fix me if I'm wrong, Seth. But the Zitali live in large communal families. Essentially, it's kind of a family-oriented group, and so real big on passing information amongst the family, keeping the family strong, kind of a communal sharing of things. So he learned from a lot of the very skilled smiths that are in their 200s plus. I love hearing myself talk. You're absolutely right, Mr. Reborn. And so for the last 90 or so years, he's been perfecting his craft of tinkering onto stone and metal, and he's just gotten to where he's starting to put a little bit of magic into these things, and he's creating small little items that are infused with magic and can do small things like create a puff of smoke or a scent or a small sound, and he's trying to continuously incorporate his abilities to see where they will go.
Awesome.
Nice.
I don't want to give too much more.
That's okay.
Yeah. So I'll go next, if willing.
Yeah.
So again, my name is Erebus. Erebus is a wood elf. And if you're looking at the map on the far west, my home was Valenix. I lived there until I was about 20, whenever the Shade came through and wiped out the entire homeland. The adults that stayed went into like exile and disappeared from the face of what we're looking at, but the children were put in boats, and I myself sailed across the Iron Sea at the age of 20, never coming to age of becoming an adult, which is very important in my backstory. So I traveled the water through the Iron Sea, and I ended up in Corvinth, where I traversed the mountains, and I passed through the trees, and I survived for the next 100 years. I'm now 135 years old. I have white, long braided hair that I've never cut. It's part of my culture to never have cut my hair, so it goes all the way down past my waist. My skin is dark brown, having been in the sun burnt, all this time, all 135 years. When you leave or you're exiled, you remain a child in the eyes of all other elves. And so I've never developed my adult eyes. So I've got these child eyes of crimson. They glow a crimson, until I'm able to grow into that adulthood. Those will remain with me. And because of such, other elves look down on me. I'm not an adult in their eyes. I'm still treated as such, as a child. I'm about 4 foot 6 inches, which is about average for an elf. 75 pounds, about average for an elf. And I am male. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet or not. I'm sarcastic. I've had to survive off of wit and getting around and navigating and negotiating everything that I've done to survive. So sarcasm is like what I base my personality on. So I'm independent. I like to be by myself. And I'm also going to look out for myself because I only trust myself. It takes me more time than others to really develop that bond. And then the last thing I'll say is in my years of 20, I'm not going to go into much detail here, but in the years since I was 20 and left and 135 now, there was someone that I was extremely close with, that I did lose, and it was the last person that I trusted. And so I'm trying to get back to my homeland, and I'm trying to seek vengeance for this individual that was so close to me.
All right, fantastic. Who would like to go next?
I don't mind going.
All right, let's hear it, CJ.
So, my character is Tikatik. She is a halfling ranger. She is a hermit. In fact, when her name was selected to go to these trials, she actually had no desire to go. She likes being by herself, but she understands the duty to her nation, and so she went, kind of begrudgingly. Her name's actually not Tikatik. We don't know what her name is yet. That's the best approximation that people give to the sound she makes when she introduces herself. She doesn't speak. She does a lot of clicking with her tongue. So tik-tik, was that noise that she would make. But she does that. She whistles and does a lot of hand gestures. But she's a little odd, very curious, yeah, very curious. Doesn't really come to town much. To say where her hometown was, like I said, she's a hermit. She prefers to stay by herself. Yeah, so that's kind of where she's at. There's some reasons as to why she doesn't speak, which we'll get into down the road, and why she's a hermit. If we were to see her at a younger age, she was probably a lot more fun to be around, but is kind of pulled away from society some. And yeah, I think that's it. Her appearance, she's got very dark brown hair, almost looks black, green eyes, and is usually fully covered clothing-wise. Doesn't like to show much of any skin at all, partially to stay hidden. It's kind of her thing. So yeah, so that's that. Did I cover everything? Any other things I need to go over?
Approximate age? Or if you don't want to share that, if it's
30-ish,
part
38-ish.
Okay.
38-ish. I mean, she's
So
not
young
she's
as
not
opposed to old,
young.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
What
not
race
young,
is
but
she?
I'm sorry?
What race is she?
Halfling.
Little people unite.
Awesome. Dave or Kyle, who wants to go next?
Roll the dice.
Roll the dice.
I'll go
You
next.
rolled in that one. Nope, I'm not talking.
No, it's fine. I'll go next. So, again, my name's Dave. I am playing a character named Vigo Grigorovich. He is a male human, and he's a cleric of the Grave Domain Persuasion. Physical description wise, he's pretty short, especially for a male human. He's about a little over 5 feet tall, and he's quite young. So opposite of Pappy and the elves, he's about 19 years old, and so that also makes him a cleric in training. He's been going to school for a while now. He's got jet black hair. He often dresses in dark robes that are long and flowy. He's pretty skinny, and he's got quite pale skin, if I didn't already say that. As far as his backstory goes, he is he comes from one of the masked nations, and so that means that he can fall in with those people. He has the masked hospitality feature, such that I fit in among them with ease. Let's see. I think that's it for physical description. As far as his more tactical backstory, he was born Orlando Fleetfoot, which he felt like was a pretty common name, but he was the son of some local gravekeepers in a small town within the masked nation of Theorandia. His father died shortly before he was born, and grew up kind of as an only child and in relative isolation. He ran the grave site, their local graveyard, with his mother, serving as undertaker, part-time headstone carver, and any other odd jobs such as digging graves that needed to be done there. At the age of about 16, Vigo started, Orlando at this point started studying to become a full cleric, or at least had aspirations there from folks in town that could tutor him, and he joined the local church associated with the god Jess. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But in his further ambition to become an adventurer, and much to the chagrin of his normally well-obeyed mother that he spent most of his time with, fairly isolated guy, he had his name changed to this Vigo Grigorovich, thinking it would affect these connotations of this giant, amazing sort of traveling war priest, if you will, helping to do all these great things to purge the land of evil. So a little bit of pride going on there, being a young guy trying to prove himself to the world. In recent years, locals have sort of labeled him as secretly using dark magic. It's, some people say it's happening, some people don't, others defend him, but being relatively isolated doesn't really help his cause there. He's been seen often staying up into the night in the graveyard, etc. But no hard proof of this accusation. At any rate, as now a 19-year-old young man on the verge of receiving an adult mask from the Masked Nation, they've kind of got a few sizes. I don't know if you went over that, Seth, but I'm sure it'll come up. He's eager to put a couple of marks on his mask, which is currently black with very, very few green markings on there to prove his worth or to show his accomplishments, but is eager to get that kick-started. As far as his personality goes, because he's been isolated for a long time and didn't interact with a whole bunch of folks, as he's traveled to this big city, he's now found himself to really enjoy interacting and talking with other people. The problem with that is he's absolutely terrible at it and pretty awkward. So try as he might, he's pretty soft-spoken. He's pretty bad at talking, but he's getting better as he goes. I think I'll stop there. That's a lot of rambling, but
No,
but yeah,
that's
that's
great.
Vigo.
Fantastic. Kyle.
Okay, yeah. I'm Loris Longwall. Loris is a Air Genasi sorcerer. He is from the planar city of Irudar. That's where his family resides. His family is a well-known and respected family, and the family is well off, but they're also known as being really generous. They're well respected and well liked in that city and in the near cities, the surrounding cities. Um, Although the family seems to be everything kind of going right for it, Loris is always around for like major celebrations, major events, and is generally also considered and known to be charitable and friendly and helpful in the surrounding areas, but he doesn't seem to be as rooted and involved in the city of Irodar like the rest of his family. Since his teenage years, Loris has really spent um, more time than not just wandering around and really living out in the wilderness, um, honing his sorcery skills, living up in the mountains for extended periods of time, also in the woods. So all that time in the wild. So he's he's he keeps up with himself because he does come back to town and stay there from time to time. So he's not just like a wildly unkept person, but his hair currently hair is fairly long, like past his shoulders. He's a couple inches over 6 feet tall and like 190 pounds. So he spends his time out in the wilderness, has traveled to and from the School of Magic a little bit to just kind of, again, like seeking to further his sorcery skills for uh, currently unexplained reasons, and maybe reasons not even entirely known by Loris. He's kind of seeking to understand and establish himself outside of kind of what is expected to probably be kind of his personal or life trajectory based on what his family has been known to be for several generations.
Awesome. Well, fantastic, guys. I'm super excited about that. So, along with, this is a completely homebrew world, and along with the Zetali as a homebrew race, we have a couple backgrounds that I helped craft as part of the story of the world. The Valen exile, which is Solus's character. One of the things, it's not in your player document yet, but one of the things that you all know is that the events of the invasion 100 years ago. You know that there are Valen spread out across the world. And the Valen are all exiles. Though some of them, like Solus, are warriors. They try to fight for their homeland. They try to convince people that they need to come and help liberate Valenex. That they want them to come and they have spent their time, like Solus has, trying to earn, martial or magical combat abilities in order to be prepared for when the liberation comes. They're prepared. So also you would know that the nation, each of the elven homelands is slightly different, but kind of as general knowledge, most people in Xennelia are fairly well educated. There's, like I said, a majority of peace. There's education for most people in some form or fashion, and so, but like I said, everyone knows a general story for the invasion, and they know certain things. They know the Valen were exiled. They know they all came out of there as children. Some of them live in cities. Some of them wander the world. Some are lost in despair and just kind of live as hangers-on and take whatever is given to them. But also well known is that artifacts and items from Valenex are rare and valuable. One of the defining features of that elven homeland were the trees. The trees were called emberbark trees, and the emberbark forest was kind of bordering them and also bordering into the mountains of there. They are very dark trees. The bark is ash colored. It's black. You can, it's kind of a pine, not quite pine, but kind of like an oak type tree. And so the bark is black, but it cracks. And within the cracks, you see the color of the wood, which is a bright orange. And this bright orange wood, that homeland used to craft everything. And so there would be orange and black wood, beautiful elven homes and furniture and boats and weapons and everything. And those things are very rare now. But if you ever see those, you know where it's from because of the bright orange wood. You also know something that is unique to the elves within Xennelia is that each elven homeland, their eyes are of a different color as children. From Valenex, it is their eyes are yellow, orange, and red, and varying colors of that. And then you also would know when elves become bound to their homeland and become adults around age 20 or so, their eyes become white, gray, or silver, and they retain like little flecks of the color they had as children. But they become adults. They have adult eyes at that point, and that's something that Solus and other Valen do not have. It's not like his eye is just a solid red. It's like his irises are just that bright, glowing red, and he still has a pupil. He still has kind of the whites of his eyes, but it is vibrant, vibrant crimson color. And if you've never seen a Valen, your character might be a little thrown back by that to see an old elf with vibrant colored eyes. The other elven homelands, similarly, one of them has blues, different shades of blue. One of them has different shades of green, and one of them has different shades of purple for eye color. So kind of cool little flavor for the world of Xennelia and the elves here. So also, like we talked about the masked nations, getting from the age of, you also would know from the age of 16 to 20, they began apprenticeships during that time, which is what Vigo is doing. He became a apprentice cleric, and during that time, his mask is plain. He has basically he has kind of an adolescent's mask, and he doesn't have any kind of markings on it other than the marking of his nation. And he doesn't get to add any of those because when he turns 20 and he goes through the Harvest Festival, he gains his adult mask, and it is when he begins to earn those achievements. He has the mark of his family, stuff like that. So, and each of the masked nations have different colored masks. Theorandia has black masks with kind of green in the eyes and then green on the markings. So, again, these are all things that you would know. They're general knowledge. You also know that the masked nations don't remove their masks. You know, barring being very close friends or if an injury for some reason. But even with injury, they usually would try to cover the face. So, all right. I believe that does it for all of our introductions and our introduction to the world. First of all, do you guys, need to get a drink or anything? Feel free to get that now. But otherwise, any questions that you guys have for me? Now's the time.
You know how I've been fighting for the past 2 days to find out why I cannot gain proficiency in Mason's tools?
Yes.
So when I made this character, I picked Artificer before you listed that I get two tool proficiencies.
Gotcha.
And part of an Artificer is to take a tool proficiency. And unbeknownst to me, I have already selected Mason's tool.
Okay, good.
And this is why it is
That's
not
why you
showing
couldn't
up
find
in the
it
list
in the other ones.
anymore.
You already have it. Good call.
I
Okay,
looked at my
good to know.
character sheet and I was like, how do I have this? What did I do? I broke something.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Double
absolutely.
proficient in masonry now. Double proficient.
I'm double,
proficient.
triple, quadruple.
Also
Oh my
too,
I promise I know how to D&D somewhat.
it's okay. As long as you don't ask if you won D&D.
I beat D&D. I've beat D&D already.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, Austin, stop.
It was Austin.
You're
in chat.
making,
There
you're
he is.
making me blush.
Midnight and Austin, what's up? We got some regular people in the chat. Austin is a former Hearth and Hammer member, and he has already been talking a lot in chat because he, I think, may drop in at some point. We'll see.
Oh, cool.
So, Midnight, how is it going, sir? It's good to see you as well. Also, Mrs. Reborn, thanks for joining us in the chat. That's Michael's wife, his better half.
Yes, I
She
probably
rolls
should
dice way better than him.
Before I started flirting with her in chat, I kind of figured people would figure it out with the name, but yeah, I was flirting with her in chat. No, this is my wife that I was flirting with in chat.
Nice.
Indeed. Austin, I love it.
She does play from time to time, so if you guys ever have like a one shot that happens, a lot of times Seth messages me unbeknownst to everybody and says, look, man, I'm not trying to be rude, but this is a Mrs. Reborn night. And then I have to be the guy to seem like I'm being selfless and being like, hey, babe, do you want to play? You don't have to, but I think it'd be cool. And then she comes in here and then they trash talk me for like 3 hours. And then you guys have a great time.
It's all good. Solus, Austin says he has beard envy.
Oh,
You guys,
it's the only thing I got going for me. This could one day be yours.
That's right.
Goals.
I'd love to know if Austin's wife
Thank you.
would let him actually grow it out that big. So,
Roll a performance check.
that's right.
by the way, Austin played our bard in the first
Oh, cool.
campaign.
He did.
Then his real life took him away, and that's what caused my stupid paladin to have to be the front man to the group.
Yeah.
So we all blame him for the fact that the group went on a very downward steep path at that point. Was
Absolutely.
a very, very armored dwarf in front of him.
Very nice.
Yeah, absolutely, Austin. No mustache. No, just mustache. Awesome. Okay. Any other questions about your character? Anything you're having trouble with? I know some of you guys, like Reborn is going to get his, I've got to get his custom character abilities squared away because it's complicated. And I know what they are. It's more like I got to figure out how to make them work in D&D Beyond. So
I think, Seth, the only thing I have, yes, we're staying level 1, but for the hit dice, like it's the 1d8 plus the Constitution modifier.
yes. So
It'll automatically add that. If you
Yeah.
put whatever the max roll is in your HP, it will automatically add your Constitution modifier to it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So if you've put that in there, obviously pay attention to your character stats. Which one is supposed to be your primary? Obviously yours is Dex. We know.
Stop! Stop! That character cannot come to life. Get out of here with that.
The rabbit. Yes. Hey,
Oh my god.
Austin. Herringon are in Xennelia. So yeah, they're around. Yeah. So that's something that you should be able to see change. You may have to, if it doesn't show up, Solus, you may have to go back to that first page where it asks if you want to do manual or whatever. Flip it and then flip it back, and then set it.
And do it again.
So
Okay.
yeah. But if you need to manually set it, it's going to be like whatever your con modifier is.
Oh, it's a
Should be
D8
it.
plus 1, so I'm sitting at a 9 HP.
Yeah.
That should be right.
Squishy.
Yeah.
Really
So
squishy.
Yeah,
I'm saying
I'm
Ranger
thinking
has a
I'm
1d10.
Yes, Ranger has a big hit dice, so you should have 10 plus whatever your con modifier is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the
make
great
sure.
thing
So-
is, yeah, I've got to talk to you about the way about this character, Seth. We got to get some racial bonuses to my AC, otherwise
we will.
we're going downhill fast at an 11 AC, boys. Downhill
No.
fast.
No, yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna
you're-
take a goblin in the corner. You guys handle the other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm on the dragon. Let's go.
No, you will gain the equivalent of like hardened what is it?
Scale mail.
Nah, probably more than that, honestly.
Wait, yeah, that's cool.
So no, not plate, but it'll be like
Hey,
you'll get
you
a bonus when you transform. You'll gain a bonus up to 16. For your
okay,
AC.
that's good. That's good.
If you can, so like, and for you, obviously, if you're not transformed, then you're wearing like
And
cloth.
I'm gonna
You're
die.
wearing like cloth, because that's the whole thing is that you can't wear armor and get that benefit to transform. So
Right.
you can
right,
use a
yeah.
shield.
I was just gonna see if
So-
you were going to allow both of my characters to have plate right off the get-go and not learn from previous mistakes, but that's fine.
Oh no, I learned from that mistake last time. Because I started him at level 3 last time. I let him purchase plate, and so he started that as a paladin with plate and a shield, and was like, "My
The
AC is 20."
right off the rip.
So I never let him have adamantine armor.
He never did. I did get. No, that's not true. That shield I got had a little bit of adamantine.
It had a
in it.
tiny bit. It had like 8 ounces of adamantine right in the crest in the middle. It was a
From the
magic
very
shield.
get-go, I
though.
started asking him like.
Yeah.
He's like, what would you ask this NPC? And I'm like, I'd like to go to the forge. I'd like to ask if they know where I can get my hands on some adamantine. He's like, no, this is not gonna happen. I was like,
I'm sorry,
just
your
wondering.
character would not know how to
Questioning.
min-max.
Just questioning. I'm an artificer, Austin.
Yeah.
Artificer. I'm
Yeah,
running
so-
battlesmith.
So we have a Zatali, which is a homebrew race, Austin. But they have some like
Homebrew
shifting
race.
transformation ability. And so he is going to be an artificer. What is it? Battlesmith?
Battlesmith, yes.
Yes.
Since armor smith is probably counterintuitive to
Yeah,
what we're doing
yeah,
here.
you're not gonna want to do that and not be able to wear armor. So,
Yeah.
I guess technically you could still have cloth armor as a armor smith, but maybe not. Maybe it has to be leather. I can't remember.
I think it's got to be leather. Better.
Yeah. We've got a grave domain cleric. We have a rogue scout. We have a beastmaster ranger, and we have an aberrant mind sorcerer.
I'm interested to see the grave domain. When we were rolling our new characters for our in-person campaign, I've rolled a bard that has like 1 level of cleric, so I can heal, and I was this close to picking grave domain. This close. I picked life domain because I'm boring, but I'm very interested in the grave domain. I'm be stalking how you play that game.
All right. Go
I
ahead.
think it's a lot of keeping people alive, but we'll see.
I'm hoping. It sounds like, from what he was hinting at, even if we die, he's just gonna like puppet our corpse anyway. So he may not want to keep us alive. He may have more fun if we die first.
Yes, yes. He's definitely more comfortable with the dead than the living, I feel like, at this point.
I've already wrote things down for each character and what I would like and dislike about them. And the only thing I've got down so far for Vigo and his character description, he's the healer. On the good side. Everything else is like anti what my character is, and I'm like, well, this doesn't bode well for the tank and the healer. The only thing they got with each other is one's a tank, one's a healer.
Well, you know, he's some young whippersnapper, so.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's young, he's human, he's got a mask on, don't want to show me who he is. I'm like, this is great, man. I was like, but he's the healer. Hey, he's the healer. Gotta love your healer.
I will say, too, as part of the world's history, the age of that Sulfurian Empire did end like 500 years ago. So the masked nations have been around for 500 years. So everyone does know.
Oh, I know about him. It's creepy.
Yeah. You may not, you may not like it necessarily, but I'm just saying, like, again, it's just general knowledge. So.
That's great, Austin. That's great. Now I have written down. Let me make sure I'm saying these names right. It's Tika-Tik, or right? Tika-Tik. Tika-Tik. Okay, all right, cool. I have Halfling as the good stuff, and then Has Pet as the good stuff, and then Young bad stuff. That's pretty much it. And then for Erebus.
Erebus.
I'm gonna put that AIR in parentheses. Erebus. Erebus. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. I got old in the category of something I would have in common with them. Old like me.
Relatively,
Yeah. I mean, old compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
And then Loris. Is it Loris?
Yes. Or Loris.
Loris.
Lorys.
I have Young, Rich in the good side. I'm down for that. And then uses magic.
Yep.
And I just realized I can put that in Vigo. Vigo finally gets another thing in the good thing.
Another positive.
Does magic.
Uses magic.
I've got something in tune with everybody now. I have to write down what my guy might like about you so that I can completely negate that.
Yes, and Pappy, Blue Pappy, Beluga.
Blue Pappy. Pappy.
Beluga Blue Pappy.
So I will tell you guys how we come up with this name because I was completely lost. I literally called a house meeting. Mrs. Reborn can call me out if I'm lying. I said family meeting. All my kids are like, what did we do? We never have family meetings. What is this? Why am we in trouble? And I was like, okay, guys, this is really serious. I've got like 2 hours. I need a name. And they're like, really, this is what you brought us in here for? And so they each gave part of the name. So Beluga is my favorite animal. The beluga whale, my favorite animal. And so my daughter come up with Beluga, and because my guy's blue, and because I like beluga whales. And then my son came up with Pappy. He's like, you should just be old and have them all call you Pappy. I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. And then my wife come up with Whitlock as a first name, so we used it as a last name.
Nice.
I like it.
Yes, my wife
So
just
Seth-
said she was very upset about it.
I'm
See, and
curious.
here I am. When my brother creates characters, they always have beer names, and so I thought it was like Pabst Blue Ribbon was what you were going for there with Pabst and Blue.
So I was thinking the whiskey, like the Pappy
Pappy-
Van Eagle.
Happy Van
Right there with
There
you,
you
man.
So Seth, I'm curious. Are beluga whales a real thing in this world?
You know,
or-
they
do
very
they
well
not
may be.
exist?
You know.
Okay.
No,
we've-
no,
No.
it's gonna be really weird.
I
My
have
name
to
is
have some
Luke
reason to
now.
make fun of Pappy. Vigo does anyway.
Oh, they're really gonna just wait. Just give
Although-
it time.
Although I will
and I'll
say,
smash a chair or something. You'll have
As-
plenty to make fun of me
as
about.
as a 19-year-old from the middle of the land, far from any water, you probably don't know about them. You probably have never seen one, or even know what a whale is. I would say you'd have
Good
to
point.
roll for that. Yes. Okay. We have a little bit of time left. For those of you in chat, again, thank you so much. We shifted our time just a little bit to, instead of like 9 to midnight, we're doing 8:30 to 11 because we're all getting old and we need to go to bed.
Someone
Yeah.
knows.
That was probably
So-
the hardest part of it. It was getting late.
It was.
There's
and
white
that's
in my
okay.
beard.
Oh yeah. If I were to grow mine out, I would have a similar streak right there.
Yep.
So you can't tell because I was sunburnt, so I haven't been able to shave my head. But I started shaving my head because this area right here is now completely bald. And then when I started shaving, I realized in the razor I have a lot of white hair now that I'm old. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I feel you.
It's
guys.
know
the
what
the
that's
kids. It's the kids.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
the
I'm on
kids for
Eastern
sure.
time zone, so it's shifted an
That
hour back for me
too.
as well.
Ooh,
That
mercy.
too. But that's okay.
Oh,
But
that's
we're
really good.
we're so thankful for CJ joining us. So, again, and just for my own sake, guys, thank you for joining. I'm super excited. I have had so much fun crafting this world. It's going to be a blast. So real quick, I want to do just a little bit of RP with each of your characters. And then we're going to leave it at that. Okay? Well, this is going to kind of set up the story. Some of you have given a little bit of answer toward this. And considering you only found out today how, where we're starting, props to you on that. But like we said earlier, we are starting at the crossroads where the former Empire capital at the Tetralith Academy for this Harvest Festival. People were chosen by lot, and you all were chosen to attend. Solace, why? Tell me, how did Erebus? No, I was saying air. How did
Erebus.
Erebus? How did Erebus? How did Erebus arrive, and what is he looking to accomplish?
Yeah, so I spent the majority of my existence coming through Corvinth, through the mountains, through the woods, and I've just recently come easterly to Thurundia. I've stayed in the last couple of years in Thurundia. I've networked and have some acquaintances. Remember, I don't have friends yet, but I have acquaintances that I've met, and I'm trying to build rapport in this new area. I'm also looking for that militia, right? The army that's going to help take my land back in Valinix. So here I am. I've been chosen by the committees, if you will, or the powers that be in Thurundia, representing that faction, that effort. And again, I'm just observing. I'm trying to pick out of the crowd people that I could trust with not only becoming my say assistance. That sounds horrible, but my entourage, but also the beginnings of forming a militia to go back to Valinix and take it over.
Yeah, looking for like-minded people who
Yes.
see the importance of Valinix and why it needs to be liberated.
When we finally pick a group name, Entourage has to be in there somewhere. That word is epic.
We'll see.
The Beluga entourage.
Oh my God, stop! Beluga and the boys.
Big Blue.
Okay,
sorry.
well, we'll keep
It's an
that in the
RP.
back burner. But one of the things, so each of the groups coming from each nation numbers in probably the hundreds. There's on average, I would say there's some that are less, some that are more. Other than the Valen, elves usually are not present at the Tetralith Academy. But would Erebus notice this young cleric who is also traveling in the company with you from Theorandia? Because you are coming from the same region at this point. You're representing the same nation. And maybe even, come from the same area within Theorandia. Maybe your paths have crossed. What would Erebus think as he sees this gangly young youth making his way to?
Yeah,
He just
I mean,
described his person.
it's perfect. I love it. No, I think at the age of 135, I would have the historical, and I can check. I can do a roll check if you want me to. I would have the historical knowledge of like something's off here. Like I know that I'm kind of out of place, but yet here's another. So I think I would notice. I don't think I would approach though. I think I would cautiously keep distance and evaluate to see what kind of person he is, what kind of character he is.
Okay, awesome. Vigo, for your part, as you travel to this festival, you still haven't had to leave Theorandia, but you are basically coming to, this is probably the furthest you've traveled, having been pretty reclusive at home. What are things that are going through his head as he sees all these people? And even, do you think he would even notice a Valen exile amongst the Theorandians?
So one of the primary things that is going through his head is the lingering residual grumpiness from having ridden from his hometown.
Yes.
Having no training, he decided to purchase a horse locally, and it was a fine horse by other standards. But as he found it more and more difficult to make it do what he wanted, by the time he got into town, he immediately sold it, chalking it up to a bad sale from the locals. He's perhaps spent a night at a nice inn. Last evening, adding to his grumpiness, he tried to chat up some locals about the magical school there, how to gain entrance, how to become a full-on cleric, or as he describes it, a traveling war priest of great power. I don't know that he would even recognize, someone not having the background, or being relatively isolated in his relatively small town.
Give me a history check.
Okay.
This party already sounds like they're going to be peachy to be around.
It's gonna be awesome, guys. I'm so excited.
He got a 3.
We're skeptical,
total.
man. Skeptical.
He got a 3? Yeah, he does
A 3.
not. Like, he barely recognized that
Walks
it's an
on
elf.
by.
He barely recognizes that it's an elf. Here's the thing, too, with the masked nations interacting with non-masked people. The masked nations, when they look at people with a mask, when they look at other people with a mask, they know how to read the mask. And so they know this mark means that they're from this family. This mark means that they are from this nation. These are, accomplishments and maybe what they mean. When you look at people without a mask, it's almost like, people that have face blindness. They don't know how to, you don't know, especially as a 19-year-old, you don't know how to read someone's full facial expressions. And it's almost a little embarrassing. Like, a young man seeing something he shouldn't see. And like, they should be covered up, kind of thing. It's you feel like, I shouldn't look at people if they don't have a mask on. Like, I should respect their privacy. It's almost like they're naked, even though it's just their face. So yeah, I think that's a fantastic role for you, because you would not probably pay attention, and you'd probably intentionally not look around at people who aren't wearing masks. And again, too, these masked nations, they're predominantly masked people, but there are people there who are not masked. It's kind of the irony of people in masks being a public face and people without masks being unrecognized. So, all right. Tiki Tik, you kind of already mentioned that you went begrudgingly after being chosen, but you recognize the value of duty and trying to be here. Do what?
This group is so happy to be here.
Yes, it's true. But it's good. Do you have your animal companion yet, or no? Right now, or do you just kind of make acquaintances with animals as you go? Just kind of like right now, you haven't really made that bond. What's going on?
I would say at this point, I don't know that she has the ability to extend trust to an animal that way yet. She cares for wildlife and does what she needs to while she's out in the wild, but I don't think she has taken the time to build a bond with an animal. So she's solo in what she's doing here. Okay.
When you do, just as a DM note, when you do have an idea of what you want to use for that, let me know. And if we need to
I do.
workshop. Okay,
I
good.
We can talk. Yeah.
We'll talk. I'm excited. Let's see. Loris, having been chosen to come, and how old are you, Loris, again? Are you young as well?
30, I think he's in. No, I didn't write his down.
You're muted, Kyle, I think.
Lord, sorry. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. We're getting really close to 11, guys. I'm here, and so walking into town, I've traveled mostly on foot to get here. I didn't because I kind of roam around, I was kind of like in the area, and I knew it was harvest time, and I kind of loosely planned on coming to these trials for some time to try to get in the school and make like a more get like some more formal training for my magic. The magic powers or skills that I have are really interesting to me. That's not something that's like really strong in my family, and I feel like it's important to explore that. So
Okay.
I'm here, and I've haven't been like in a city for an extended period for a while. So I'm somewhat relieved to kind of get here and tired and kind of looking to rest and kind of catch my breath, but also eager to see what all these trials have to offer.
Okay. And about how old was your character, did you say?
35.
Okay. So, in your 30s as well. So even though you like to spend time alone out in the wilderness, what is it like? What's the first thing coming back into town that Loris would look for? What comfort? What reminder of home?
A good meal and to clean up. As much as I like to be out in the wilderness, I also do bounce around from town to town. I like kind of being around people, and I like the interaction with people. And then I will start to get uncomfortable if I'm in the same place for too long.
Okay.
So then I'll be out in the wilderness, and then I'll kind of, miss the community of people. So definitely, somewhere like a nice tavern or something like that, or a nicer inn to clean up and get some good food and probably chit chat and BS and
Sure.
small talk and be friendly.
Give me so as you arrive into this this area, this tent city, basically, of tents and pavilions, there are more semi-permanent structures that look like, taverns and stuff like that. There are also, you've heard there's also a town, but give me an investigation check. Let's see how nice of a tavern you find.
I got a dirty 20.
Okay. So you're able to find exactly what you're looking for. You wander through the tents and the pavilions and the camps for different nations. Do you check in with the group from Erudar, or do you go directly to the tavern?
I would probably. I think I would
maybe go
check in
first,
with the group and then, but kind of tell them that I'm headed to the tavern.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to find a tavern, and the town itself surrounding the school, when it's not harvest time, isn't very large. For a out of game example, think of like Hogsmeade Village, okay, from Harry Potter. It is a small town that supports the school. There's these fields basically get taken over by this giant festival. So yeah, you're able to find it. You're able to begin getting cleaned up, and as part of that, you kind of have to rent space, rent a room there. So you're there. Let's see. Michael.
Yes.
When you came to the academy, as part of the envoy from Zeromatal, what is it that you brought with you?
Not a lot, actually. I've got really just got my backpack. It's filled with various tools and bottles and little bit of reagents that I would use to create things, few scrap pieces of metal and chunks of stone, but other than that, I'm traveling pretty light.
Okay. One thing you know is that at this festival, because it is such a meeting of multi nations here, there's trade, there is trading of ideas, and even trading of magical means and abilities, and alchemy, and there's all sorts of things going on that you absolutely would be keen to be a part of those types of discussions. Being a practitioner of magic, but in a different form, but still being, like I said, this is still a hub of magical activity in academia. So, you're absolutely able to find that there. You all arrive. It's still a couple days away from the beginning of the festivities and the trials. And you settle in, you get a little bit of the lay of the land, and we close on our scene for the night. With that, guys, I think we've had a pretty successful session 0.
Let's go.
Yes.
I am super pumped. Also, thank you, the Cat's Meow, for joining us in here. Lacey, appreciate you. Hope you had a fantastic evening and stream as well. If you were streaming there. Is that Wormwood Dice Tower in the bottom left? Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's a pretty sweet dice tower there. So, guys, I have never bought any like premium wood D&D items, and I did get something the other day.
Oh,
So I have to show off.
Nice.
I got a
Well done.
dice
Ooh.
vault.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
So
Well done.
I got
Jelly.
it on sale, and super pumped about it. So, ooh, nice.
I've got a not so nice dice vault.
That is a dice chest, friend.
Yes.
That's right. That's fantastic.
Fine, and make fun of it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't know where that dice went. I'll probably never find it again. I'll step on it if it was a D4.
You dropped it. All right. Well, thank you again for joining us this evening in chat. Thank you.
Oh, it's another roll.
Thank you to everyone here who is going to be a part of this campaign. Again, super excited. If you think of any other questions during this next week, obviously you know how to get a hold of me. But we will get into our first session next week. We'll be starting at 8:30. Actually, 8:30.
Our 8:30 or your 8:30?
See you guys at 9.
No. Like I said, I will be prepared. I promise. So 10 days of having no voice, puts you behind a little bit. So
That'll do it.
All right. Well, thank you all. Have a good night, and God bless. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.